What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. First and foremost, I want to wish all the mothers out there a happy upcoming Mother's Day weekend. Hopefully, you get all the respect you deserve,
I hope
but not
so.
just this weekend, but every weekend. Mothers do so much in the husbands' lives. They do so much in the children's lives. They're just so important. So, yes, it's Mother's Day weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Make it a great one and all. But we should be really appreciating the mothers every weekend. And with that being said, title of my video says I'm angry at realtors, and I am angry at realtors. It's infuriating to me, and it goes back to that thing that we say all the time. Who you work with matters. And this came from personal experience this past week. My investor, we're still looking for some homes for him, and he sent me a couple properties, and I went ahead and did my thing. I always reach out to the realtors to try to find the story, especially on flips. You just never know the story, and it's good to know the story behind them. If it's a foreclosure, if it was inherited, what the situation is, why it's in the current situation it's in, and why they're selling it, whatever the case may be. It's good to know the history behind the flip and get as much intel as you possibly can to kind of figure out and determine what the situation is for the seller when you're trying to get your investor the property bought. So, I reached out to three different realtors on three different properties, and that was a week ago. That was at the beginning of the week. It was two of them were on Sunday, one of them was on Monday, and I have not heard a response back yet. I sent two text messages and an email apiece to all three of those realtors, and I haven't heard a response back yet. And listen, I get it. It's crazy to think that every time you call a realtor, they're going to pick up their phone. A lot of them are doing a lot of business, whatever the case may be. I miss calls myself, I miss texts myself, but I always get back to the person by the end of the day, no matter what. And we're going on 4 or 5 days for all three of those realtors where I still haven't heard a response back. And these are properties that have been on the market for 20 to 30 days. So, it's not like it's a property that has a lot of, it's only been on there for a couple of days and they probably have a ton of showings, they probably have a ton of offers. It's not even worth it for them to get back, or, whatever the case may be is. These are properties, the one was on there for 45 days. So these are properties that have struggled to sell. And, I'm reaching out trying to find more information for my client, somebody who desperately is a serious investor. He's invested twice before, he's bought and sold flips twice before, and you're not even going to respond. Your client is ready to sell his home for whatever the reason may be is, and you're taking now almost 5 days for all three of them, where I haven't heard a response back yet. You know what I mean? And that's infuriating. And it goes back to the thing I say: who you work with matters. I know a lot of sellers, or even buyers. They just go ahead and take the first realtor they find. They see the realtor.com. Sometimes they supply you with a realtor. There's a couple websites that will give leads to realtors that pay them for those leads, and they call you and you just pick that first realtor, whatever the case may be is. But it's important for a seller and a buyer to do your due diligence on who you're working with, what the realtor has knowledge. Does the realtor care about you? It affects me. It does every time. If a closing gets pushed back and my client's upset about it, if the process has been stressful, if they're upset they've been outbid 15, 20 times, whatever the case may be is, whatever comes along in the transaction, it bothers me. It bothers me. It hits somewhere because I've been there. It's the largest purchase or the largest sale most people are going to make in their lifetime, and it's very important as realtors. Yes, we're doing it to pay our bills. I understand that. Whatever the case may be is, some people are doing it to be filthy rich. Some people just want to pay their bills. Some people it's just for a side hustle. Whatever the case, I get it. We're doing it. We're getting paid. Okay, but it's a lot of people call it a sales industry. I don't call it that. I call it a service industry. Okay, you are servicing people. You are, again, helping them with in many cases, the largest purchase or the largest sale they'll ever make in their life. And they're trusting you, the professional that went through all your certifications, that went through the state mandates. They're trusting you to work your butt off to get it done. And again, like I said, the two of the realtors I reached out was on Sunday, and a lot of realtors, some realtors won't work on Sundays. It's family time, whatever. I get that. That's important. It definitely is. A lot of times with my family, I'll send a text back, hey, right now I can't get to it, but I will when I can, whatever the case may be is. But now like I said, now it's 4 days later. I still haven't heard a response back. I even sent another text on Tuesday because my investor was really interested on one specific property, and still haven't heard anything. So again, and these are homes that have been on the market for 30 to 60 days, and their realtors aren't responding to at least my responses. And if they're not responding to what I'm sending them, if they're not responding to my inquiries, I got to wonder how many people they've passed up and how much length they've put on their seller trying to sell their home by not following up with every single person that reaches out, about more information about the property. So, the end of the story is I am angry at realtors. It makes my job harder when the realtor doesn't respond. It makes my job more unpleasant, when I have to deal with a realtor that's a pain, that takes a long time to respond, that doesn't follow up, that doesn't, communicate properly. It makes my job harder. It makes my, client's situation harder. Either it's a buyer or a seller, whatever, it doesn't matter. It makes their experience worse. And in return, again, it makes my job harder and more stressful because I wear that, on my sleeve. So again, I'm angry, listen, if you're a realtor watching this and you're getting offended by it, chances are I'm talking to you. Okay, that's the chance. If you're offended by it, and you're a realtor, chances are I'm talking to you. If you're not offended by it, good. This video is not for you then. Disregard. But again, if I'm offending you and you're a realtor, chances are this is going right to you, and you need to pick up what you're doing because it makes everybody's life. It's a huge service that we're supplying. The biggest, again, in most cases, the biggest service that a seller or a buyer will ever need in their life. And if you're not going to respond, if you're not going to do things the professional way all the time, then you shouldn't be in the business.
What do you mean by that?
Go do something else. So that's what I got today. Again, enjoy Mother's Day weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And until next time, again, as always, buy, sell, invest, solar. Contact me today. Thank you. Appreciate it.